The moment you accept rejection is the moment you stop giving people power over your destiny. You've been standing at doors that were never designed for you, knocking until your knuckles bleed, begging for access to rooms where your presence was never required. And every time that door stays closed, you interpret it as a judgment on your value. You think rejection means you're not good enough. You think it means you're lacking. You think it means something is fundamentally wrong with who you are. But what if I told you that rejection is not a verdict on your worth, but a redirection toward your assignment? What if the doors that close in your face were never your doors to begin with? You've been mourning opportunities that would have suffocated you. You've been grieving positions that would have poisoned you. You've been crying over people who would have corrupted your purpose. Listen to me carefully. Not every no is a loss. Some no's are protection. Some no's are preparation. Some no's are positioning you for something your current level of maturity cannot handle. You don't get rejected from your destiny. You get rejected from distractions. You get rejected from detours. You get rejected from everything that would delay you from becoming who you were created to be. But you can't see that when you're standing in the pain. You can't see that when your identity is wrapped up in other people's acceptance. You can't see that when you've made their yes the measurement of your significance. And that's where the damage lives. That's where the confusion breeds. You've been building your sense of self on the approval of people who don't even understand their own purpose, let alone yours. You've been seeking validation from individuals who are just as lost as you feel. You've been looking for permission from voices that have no authority over your life. And every time they reject you, a piece of your confidence crumbles. Every time they say no, you question everything about yourself. Every time they choose someone else, you spiral into comparison and self-doubt. You start asking the wrong questions. What's wrong with me? Why not me? What do they have that I don't? And those questions become chains that keep you trapped in a cycle of approval seeking that will drain every ounce of life from your bones. You were never meant to live begging for acceptance. You were never meant to perform for validation. You were never meant to shrink yourself to fit into spaces that reject your fullness. But that's what rejection does when you don't understand it. It makes you smaller. It makes you question the very essence of who you are. It makes you believe the lie that your value is determined by who picks you. And you carry that lie into every room. You carry it into every relationship. You carry it into every opportunity. You show up already defeated, already expecting rejection, already bracing for the pain. And then when it comes, you nod your head like you knew it all along, like you deserved it, like rejection is just your portion in life. But rejection is not your portion. Rejection is your protection. And until you accept that, you will keep suffering in spaces you were never meant to occupy. You will keep forcing doors that were designed to stay closed. You will keep chasing people who were never meant to journey with you. You will keep exhausting yourself trying to prove your worth to audiences that will never applaud you. And the saddest part, while you're doing all of that, the door that was actually meant for you remains untouched. The people who were supposed to recognize you pass you by because you're too busy performing for the wrong crowd. The opportunities designed with your name on them expire because you're stuck trying to fit into opportunities that were built for someone else. You have wasted years trying to be chosen by people who were never assigned to choose you. You have wasted energy trying to be seen by eyes that were never meant to see you. You have wasted tears crying over closed doors when the open door was 3 steps to your left the entire time, and now you're tired. Now you're bitter. Now you're confused. Now you don't even know which direction to move because rejection has paralyzed you. It has convinced you that standing still is safer than risking another no. It has taught you that staying small is better than being seen and rejected again. It has trained you to settle for crumbs because at least crumbs don't come with the possibility of heartbreak. But here's what you need to understand about rejection. It's not random. It's not cruel. It's not evidence that you're broken or unworthy or defective. Rejection is strategic. Rejection is intentional. Rejection is the universe, God, destiny, whatever you want to call it, closing doors that will lead you away from your true path. You think rejection is punishment, but it's actually navigation. You think it's a wall, but it's actually a guardrail keeping you from driving off a cliff. Every door that closed in your face closed for a reason. Every person who walked away for a reason. Every opportunity that fell through for a reason. And that reason has nothing to do with your value and everything to do with your assignment. You were manufactured for a specific purpose. And just like a key is designed to fit a specific lock, you were designed to fit into specific spaces, specific assignments, specific relationships. You are not a master key. You're not supposed to open every door. You're not supposed to fit everywhere. And when you try to force yourself into spaces you weren't designed for, you damage yourself. You bend, you break, you lose your shape. And then when the right door finally appears, you can't even fit into it anymore because you've contorted yourself trying to fit into all the wrong ones. That's what rejection saves you from. It saves you from the violence of being in the wrong place. It saves you from the slow death of living outside your design. It saves you from wasting decades in rooms that were never meant to house your presence. Think about a seed. When a seed falls to the ground, it gets rejected by the surface. The soil covers it. The darkness surrounds it. From the outside, it looks buried. It looks like death. It looks like the end. But that rejection from the light is exactly what the seed needs to transform. If the seed stayed on the surface, it would dry out. It would get eaten. It would blow away in the wind. The burial is protection. The darkness is preparation. The pressure of the soil is what cracks the shell so the life inside can break through. And when that seed finally emerges, it doesn't come back up as a seed. It comes up as something stronger, deeper, more rooted. The rejection wasn't the end. It was the beginning of transformation. You are that seed. And every rejection you've experienced has been soil, not a grave. It's been pressure, not punishment. It's been the cracking of your old shell so the new you can emerge. But you have to stop fighting the process. You have to stop clawing your way back to the surface, begging to be a seed again. You have to accept that you're in the dark for a reason. You are under pressure for a reason. You are hidden for a reason. This is not abandonment. This is preparation. And when your season comes, when your time arrives, you won't come back up as the same person who got rejected. You'll come back up transformed, rooted, unshakable, ready for a level of impact that your old self could never have carried. But most people never make it to that breakthrough because they can't accept the burial. They can't accept the rejection. They spend all their energy trying to reverse it, trying to change people's minds, trying to get back into the spaces that spit them out. And they die in the soil, never becoming the tree they were meant to be, all because they couldn't accept the process. Acceptance is not defeat. Acceptance is wisdom. Acceptance is you saying, I trust that closed doors are just as important as open ones. I trust that rejection is redirection. I trust that what's for me will not miss me, and what misses me was never for me. Here's another truth you need to hear. Not every lion belongs to every pride. A lion is still a lion even when the pack rejects it. A lion doesn't lose its roar because the group doesn't recognize it. A lion doesn't stop being a predator because it's hunting alone. In fact, some of the strongest lions are the ones that got rejected. The ones that had to develop their instincts in isolation. The ones that had to learn to survive without the pack. Rejection forced them to discover strength they didn't know they had. It forced them to develop skills the pack never taught them. It forced them to become self-sufficient, strategic, and dangerous. And when they finally find their true pride or build their own, they lead differently because rejection taught them what acceptance never could. You are a lion that got rejected by the wrong pride. And you've been living like a wounded animal ever since, limping around, licking your wounds, wondering what's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You were just in the wrong pack. And the right pack is still out there, but you'll never find it if you keep begging the wrong one to take you back. You'll never find it if you keep sitting outside their den, hoping they change their mind. You'll never find it if you built your entire identity on being accepted by a group that doesn't even recognize your raw. Accept the rejection. Walk away and start hunting with the instinct that rejection awakened in you. And let me tell you something about good versus right. Good opportunities can be the enemy of the right opportunity. There are doors that will open for you that look good, that feel good, that seem good, but they're not right. They're not aligned with where you're supposed to be going. And if you walk through a good door, you might miss the right door. Rejection from the good is often protection toward the right. But you'll never see it that way if you're desperate. Desperation makes you grab at anything. Desperation makes you settle. Desperation makes you say yes to good when you were designed for great. And then you end up trapped in good, wondering why you feel empty, wondering why you feel unfulfilled, wondering why something still feels off even though everything looks fine. Rejection is also the fire that shapes you. Think about a blade being forged. The metal gets heated until it's red, until it's glowing, until it looks like it's being destroyed. Then it gets hammered. Then it gets plunged into cold water. Then it gets heated again, over and over. Rejection, pressure, heat, cold, pain. And every single time, the metal wants to break. It wants to crack. It wants to give up. But the blacksmith knows something the metal doesn't. The blacksmith knows that this violence is necessary. This process is mandatory. This pain is creating something stronger, sharper, more effective than the raw metal could ever be. And when the blade is finally finished, it doesn't remember the fire with bitterness. It's grateful for the fire because the fire made it deadly. The rejection made it powerful. The pain made it purposeful. You are being forged right now. And every rejection is a hammer strike. Every closed door is the fire. Every disappointment is the cold water. You think you're breaking, but you're actually becoming. You think you're being destroyed, but you're actually being refined. And when this process is over, you won't be the same. You'll be sharper. You'll be stronger. You'll be ready for battles that would have destroyed the old you. You need to stop looking at rejection as the end of your story and start seeing it as a chapter that's setting up your climax. Every great story has a moment where the hero gets rejected, cast out, misunderstood, abandoned. And that moment isn't there to break them, it's there to build them. It's there to isolate them so they can discover who they are without the noise. It's there to strip away everything false so only the truth remains. It's there to push them into a corner where they have no choice but to fight their way out. And when they emerge, they're not the same person. They're the person they were always meant to be, the person rejection revealed. Let me tell you a story. There was once a stone that sat in a quarry with 1,000 other stones. It was ordinary, rough. Nothing about it stood out. One day, builders came looking for stones to construct a building. They picked through the quarry, examining each stone carefully. They picked up this particular stone, looked at it, turned it over, and then tossed it aside. Rejected. Too rough. Too irregular. Not what they needed. The stone sat there watching as other stones got chosen, loaded onto carts, taken away to become part of something important, and the stone felt worthless. It felt like it had been judged and found lacking. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The stone sat there, rejected, forgotten, covered in dust. But then one day, a different builder came. This builder wasn't looking for ordinary stones, for ordinary walls. This builder was looking for a cornerstone, the foundation stone that would hold the entire structure together. And this builder saw something in that rejected stone that the first builders missed. This builder saw strength, saw character, saw the exact dimensions needed for the most important position in the entire building. The rejected stone became the cornerstone, and every other stone in that building depended on it. The rejection wasn't because it was worthless. The rejection was because it was too valuable for what those first builders were constructing. It was being reserved for something greater. You are that stone. You've been sitting in the dust, watching others get chosen, wondering what's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You are a cornerstone being rejected by people building ordinary walls. And if they had chosen you, you would have been wasted. You would have been used for something beneath your design. The rejection saved you. The rejection preserved you. And when the right builder comes, when the right opportunity arrives, when the right assignment presents itself, you won't be a decorative brick in someone's garden. You'll be the foundation of something that changes lives. Here's another story. There was a seed that fell from a tree in a beautiful garden. The gardener found it and examined it, but the gardener already had a plan for the garden. Roses here, tulips there, a very specific design. And this seed didn't fit the plan. So the gardener tossed the seed over the fence into the wild. The seed felt rejected. It had wanted to be part of the beautiful garden, wanted to be watered and cared for and admired. Instead, it landed in hard soil, surrounded by weeds, with no gardener to tend it. It felt abandoned. It felt punished. But that seed didn't know something. That seed was from an oak tree. And oak trees don't belong in gardens. They're too massive. Their roots go too deep. Their branches spread too wide. If that seed had sprouted in the garden, it would have destroyed the garden. Its roots would have cracked the paths. Its shade would have killed the flowers. Its size would have overwhelmed everything. But in the wild, where it was rejected to, that seed had room. It had space. It had the kind of soil that could handle its depth. And over the years, that seed became a mighty oak. It became a shelter for birds. It became shade for travelers. It became a landmark that people navigated by. It became something that outlived the garden, outlived the gardener, outlived everything that rejected it. The rejection wasn't cruelty, it was placement. The seed wasn't rejected because it was worthless. It was rejected because it was too powerful for that space. You are an oak seed trying to grow in a rose garden, and you've been devastated because the gardener tossed you out. But the gardener did you a favor. You were never meant for that small, controlled, decorative space. You were meant for the wild. You were meant for depth. You were meant for impact that spans generations. Accept the rejection from the garden and start growing where you landed. Stop trying to climb back over the fence. Stop trying to convince the gardener to replant you. You are exactly where you need to be. Before I continue, answer one question honestly. How many doors did you beg to open that would have destroyed you if they had? How many people did you plead with to stay who would have corrupted your purpose if they had? How many opportunities did you cry over losing that would have trapped you in a version of yourself you were meant to outgrow? Think about that. Really think about it. Because if you're honest, you can already see it. You can already look back at some of those rejections and see the disaster you avoided. You can already see the trap you didn't fall into. You can already see the wrong path you didn't take. And if you can see it with the past, why can't you trust it with the present? Why can't you believe that the rejection you're experiencing right now is protecting you from something your current perspective can't see yet? If you're still listening, something inside you is waking up. Something inside you is starting to understand that rejection is not your enemy. Something inside you is beginning to accept that closed doors are just as much a gift as open ones. And that awakening is going to change everything. Because once you accept rejection, once you stop fighting it, once you stop taking it personally, you become unstoppable. You stop needing validation. You stop performing for approval. You stop shrinking to fit. You start moving with a different kind of confidence. The kind that doesn't crumble when people say no. The kind that doesn't waver when doors close. The kind that knows your value is not up for debate. You start to see rejection as information, not condemnation. It tells you where not to go. It tells you who not to chase. It tells you what not to waste your time on. And that information is priceless. Most people spend their entire lives trying to force open doors that were locked for their protection. They spend decades in relationships that were never meant to last. They spend fortunes on opportunities that were never meant to prosper. They spend their energy trying to fit into spaces that were designed to reject them. And they die exhausted, bitter, confused, wondering why nothing ever worked out. But it's because they never accepted rejection. They never trusted the process. They never believed that no could mean next. You grow in silence. You heal in silence. You transform in silence. Every season of isolation, every period of rejection, every moment where you feel forgotten is actually a moment where something deep inside you is developing. Roots are growing. Character is forming. Strength is building. Vision is clarifying. And none of that happens in the spotlight. None of that happens in the applause. None of that happens when everyone is watching. It happens in the secret place, in the rejected place, in the forgotten place. And when you finally emerge, when you finally break through, people will call it an overnight success. They'll call it luck. They'll call it timing. But you'll know the truth. You'll know it was the rejection that made you. You'll know it was the closed doors that built you. You'll know it was the silence that prepared you. And now you stand at a crossroads. You can keep mourning what rejected you, or you can accept it and step into what's waiting for you. You can keep defining yourself by the doors that closed, or you can redefine yourself by the strength you gain from standing outside them. You can keep replaying the pain, or you can start recognizing the pattern. Every rejection has been steering you. Every no has been redirecting you. Every closed door has been course correcting you. And if you look back honestly, you'll see the thread. You'll see how every rejection removes something that would have blocked your destiny. You'll see how every loss cleared space for something greater. You'll see how every person who walked away made room for the right people to walk in. Stop waiting for people to come back. Stop hoping situations reverse. Stop asking for second chances from spaces that already showed you they're not your place. That's not acceptance. That's denial. Acceptance is when you look at the closed door and say, thank you. Thank you for not letting me waste another year there. Thank you for not letting me build a life on a foundation that would have crumbled. Thank you for protecting me from my own desperation. Thank you for loving me enough to tell me no when I was too blind to see I was asking for the wrong thing. That's the power of acceptance. It turns your pain into gratitude. It turns your rejection into redirection. It turns your wounds into wisdom. You need to understand something about identity. Your identity cannot be built on who accepts you. It has to be built on who you were created to be. And the only way to discover that is through rejection. Because rejection strips away all the false identities. It strips away the version of you that performs. It strips away the version of you that people pleases. It strips away the version of you that contorts to fit. And what's left after all that stripping is the real you. The you that doesn't need validation. The you that doesn't need permission. The you that doesn't need applause. That's the you that was always there, buried under layers of approval seeking and fear. And rejection is the fire that burns those layers away. You are not who they said you weren't good enough to be. You are not the sum of every no you've received. You are not the collection of closed doors and failed attempts and people who didn't choose you. You are the person standing on the other side of all that, still breathing, still moving, still believing that there's something more. And that person, the one who survived the rejection, the one who got back up, the one who kept going, even when every door slammed shut, that person is more powerful than you realize. That person has been forged. That person has been refined. That person is ready. The right doors are waiting for you, but they won't open until you stop knocking on the wrong ones. They won't open until you accept that rejection was redirection. They won't open until you walk away from the spaces that don't recognize you and start moving toward the spaces that were designed for your presence. And when you walk through those right doors, you won't have to beg. You won't have to perform. You won't have to prove yourself. You just have to be yourself. Because the right door recognizes your frequency. It recognizes your design. It recognizes that you are the answer to a problem it's been waiting to solve. There are people waiting for you who need exactly what rejection built in you. They need your story. They need your strength. They need your survival. They need to know that rejection is not the end. They need to see someone who got told no and turned it into fuel. They need to hear that closed doors don't mean you're not chosen. They mean you're being positioned. But you'll never reach those people if you're still camped outside the doors that rejected you. You'll never fulfill that assignment if you're still trying to get back into spaces you've outgrown. You have to accept it. You have to let it go. You have to trust that what's coming is greater than what left. I'm telling you right now, prophetically, authoritatively, the rejection you experienced was not random. It was strategic. It was necessary. It was preparation. And on the other side of your acceptance is a level of freedom you've never experienced. A level of confidence you've never walked in. A level of impact you've never imagined. But you have to cross the bridge. You have to stop looking back. You have to accept that closed chapters stay closed so new chapters can begin. And the new chapter is better. It's bigger. It's more aligned. It's more authentic. It's more you. Your future is not in the hands of the people who rejected you. Your future is in your hands. And it always has been. But you gave your power away every time you let their no define you. Take your power back. Accept the rejection. Stop trying to reverse it. Stop trying to understand it. Stop trying to fix it. Just accept it and move. Move with intention. Move with authority. Move with the understanding that you are not a victim of rejection. You are a product of it. Everything you needed to become who you're meant to be required every single no you received. Not one was wasted. Not one was a mistake. Every rejection was a brick in the foundation of your future. So let them reject you. Let the doors close. Let the people walk away. Let the opportunities fall through. Because every single one of those things is clearing the path for what's actually meant for you. And when it comes, when your door opens, when your people show up, when your opportunity arrives, you'll understand why nothing else worked out. You'll see why you had to go through the fire. You'll know why rejection was the greatest gift you ever received. It made you who you are. It built you for this. It prepared you for a level of assignment that the old you could never have carried. If this message spoke to your heart, share it with someone who needs hope today. Share it with someone who's standing outside a closed door, wondering what's wrong with them. Share it with someone who's been rejected and can't see past the pain. They need to hear this. They need to know that rejection is redirection. They need to know that closed doors are protection. They need to know that their value is not determined by who picks them. And if you want more messages that grow your soul, that challenge your perspective, that activate your purpose, subscribe. Because your journey has just begun. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your breakthrough. Accept the rejection and watch what God does with your obedience.